So now we are now discussing a very important, you must say, classic document on aesthetics, criticism and ethics. That's the thing. 3 in 1. Aesthetics, criticism and ethics. This was really Longinus on the Sublime. It was a lost classic. It's a lost classic. It's really a relic of a criticism. It's a tonic. Others say that it is tonic. Later on they say like that. This was discovered, written sometime in the 1st century AD and discovered in the 16th century during Renaissance. It was translated by Robotello in 1554. Yes, 1554. Robotello translated this first time. Milton said, Longinus is my master, my tutor, and I worship him. That's what Milton said. Longinus is the Frenchman Boyle said, he's a literary dictator. See that? You will find the difference when you read Plato, Aristotle and Horace. Come to Longinus, it is something like a daylight. See that? Daylight. You feel like some bright things, you are in the midst of some brightness. The treatise was written in Greek language. About the author we don't know much about. Many people say it was Cassius Longinus, some other people it is Dionysius Longinus. But anyhow, the author Pseudo Longinus, that means anonymous, no idea. Some people again say that all conjecture, games of conjecturing. Some people say that there was a Longinus, he was not a poet, he was not a philosopher, not an orator. He was, at best, he may be a minister to Queen Zenobia of Palmyra. Queen Zenobia of Palmyra in Asia Minor. That's what this is. But surely much have I travelled in the realms of gold. No doubt about that. Because he has probably read 1,000 authors. He has quoted from, in this treatise, he has quoted from 50 authors. 50, not in T.S.A. has quoted in his poem 40 authors. That's a different thing, but this one, 50 authors. So from Homer, and all those writers of those days, Demosthenes and Homer, these were his favorites. So as you can see, he was an voracious reader. Otherwise, how could he do like this? It happened that he came across a treatise on the Sublime by Caecilius on the Sublime. And then he was not happy with it. His friend Terentianus prompted him, come on, Longinus, you do something. This is it's a low standard stuff. So why don't you think of writing something, improving upon this? Or you have been a good reader, you have been a voracious reader. So why don't you put all your knowledge, means a synthesizing of your knowledge and your vast reading experience, and write a good treatise on what actually art should be. So it is also written in the form of a letter, epistolary form of an epistle. Epistle to his friend Terentianus. Postumius Terentianus, that's his full name. Postumius Terentianus, that is his friend. Longinus, the friend of Longinus Terentianus, he writes a letter that is on the Sublime. Like Horace wrote to, remember Horace wrote a letter to Epistula ad Pisones, that is Pisos, to the Pisos, members of the Pisos family. Piso and his two sons. Understand? Now here what happens is, this is the background of this, as I already told you. Now the title, it's again Greek, written, of course the whole thing is written in Greek. Original title is, the original title is Hypsos. Not just Hypsos, but the full title is Perihypsos. Yes, Perihypsos. Perihypsos. Now, peri means peripheral, about. Peri means about. Or around. Peri means around. That's a perambulating. There is nothing to do with the peri. Peripheral, periphery. So these words come from this, peripheral. That is around. And then hypsos. Hypsos, actually hip up to this. This is a hyper. Hyper means hyperglycemia, That means hyperglycemia means, say if you have got it to 300, 400, 500 and so on, sugar, then you got hyperglycemia. Glycemia, this sugar. Hyper means below. We have got a hypothesis now. When you just, before you start your thesis proper, you make a hypothesis. Means below fact, below proven fact, that's the thing. It's not proved that this hypothesis, just below that. Now, what I am trying to tell you is about this hype source. Source actually comes, it is the correct form of Zeus. Zeus, the Greek super god, god of gods. Hypsos means about height, highest. Zeus is the highest god. So, Hypsos means the highest point, you can say, zenith or pinnacle. So, the highest experience or the greatest experience in literature is Hypsos or the Sublime. Even I hope you are following me. So, Perihypsos, that means about the height, about the most high, you can say. You can translate it like this, about the most high feeling. The most high feeling, or what we call sublime. So that is the title. So this is about the author and the background. So the Perihypsos. Perihypsos means about, hey, source, I told you, it is the correct form of Zeus. So you find this in other names also, Zeus. Zeus. So Perihypsos. So this is the point. Perihypsos, on the height. Now, what is in one word, if you say, that is to be what we call, the what is called the most elevated feeling. The most elevated. In the last class, I gave you some presented before you some passages, no? When you heard it, I suppose that you had a feeling of you are being transported. You lost your reasoning power. We lose our reasoning power. We abandon ourselves. And then we go to in an area, something so intangible. That is. The other day I told you about a quote from Shakespeare which I forgot. That is, everyone masters grief, but that has it. Everyone masters grief, but that has it. Right? Or, when you read the story of the Good Samaritan, you are moved, transported. This is not for a group of people, this is not for an ethnic group, but that story is told for the whole world. Those who lived then and the posterity. A writer should write for the posterity. That is the dictum of Ulysses. So writers should write for the posterity. Write for the posterity. Don't you think that when you read Good Samaritan, you are moved? Yes? Don't you think that you are moved when you read the parable of prodigal son? Yeah. But you are not moved when you read the story of the rich man and Lazarus, or the story of the sower who went around sowing seed. You are not moved. You are not moved by the rich man and Lazarus, no. But Good Samaritan, see the difference. This is the difference between what is sublime and what is not sublime. You can feel it now. That is something that you are transported, so to say, a lofty feeling, an elevated feeling. That's what you get. See? The writer should write for the posterity. T.S. Eliot. The present is directed by the past. The present is directed by the past. Same meaning. Understand? You should write for the posterity means that. Now, when you think about this word, you are transported. You are transported. The entire the thing is structured in such a way that it becomes irresistible for you. That is it. You go to that again and again and read. Each time you read it, you get a different kind of feeling. That is sublime, if you want to define it. It is a certain excellence in expression. A certain excellence in expression. Just think of, everybody knows the story of Good Samaritan. Everybody knows the story of the prodigal son. So whenever you listen to that, you will see that is excellence of expression and also emotion. That is ethics, I said, because he says that, Longinus says that benevolence and love of truth that takes you near the majesty of God. So benevolence and love of truth take you to the majesty of God. Only such a mind, only from such a mind, sublime products we can expect. Such a mind. It's not only use of language. Great thoughts come from great minds. Magnanima means great soul. So great thoughts come from great minds. And if your mind has to be great, you have to have benevolence. And also benevolence and love of truth. That is, Polonius says, no? But above all, be thine own self be true. Be sublime. But above all, be thine own self be true. So that is again sublime. This one sentence, it is sublime. Right? So, you are transported, you are moved, there is a loftiness of feeling, there is empathy. When you read something, you feel that it is you who have written this. That identifying. What you read and enjoy, you feel that you wanted to say this. That kind of feeling. When you this sublime, that is sublime. Sublimity takes you to that level. Understand? So, what happens here is, again, yesterday in the last class, I gave you some passages. So again, I will give we can see well-known examples like Portia's speech to Shiloh, sublime. Sublime. You become like God when you forgive. The quality of mercy is not strange. It is sublime. Writing for the posterity. That's very important thing. Another aspect of the sublime is that he, according to Longinus, whether he is pseudo Longinus or actual Longinus, what he tells us is that the audience will decide whether what you have written is sublime or not. So that aspect also comes in. It is in the hands of the audience also. You have written, you have presented something, but those who are enjoying this, who are reading this, who are receiving this, they will also tell you, their judgment is also important to find out whether something is sublime or not. As Ben Jonson said about Shakespeare, no? Thou art not of an age but for all times. So that is sublime. What you write, what you produce, if it is not of an age but for all time, then that is sublime. That's a test of sublime. Testing sublime. Whether it lasts forever. Testing sublime. Whether you are writing, whether he is writing for the posterity. Testing sublime. Whether the audience will appreciate it or not. It pleases another test. It pleases all, at all times, at all places. Three things. That is sublime. The test of sublime. It pleases all. It pleases all places. It may be written in Latin or Greek or English or in Malayalam or in Hindi, but it pleases everyone. And all places. All people of all walks of life. Say you may be your professions, different ethnic groups. So it has no barriers. It transcends all barriers. Listen, it is like the rays of the morning sun in a clear sky. The morning sun, because noon it may hurt you. You have got all the problems of ozone layer and radiation and all those things. But the morning sun, the smiling morning sun in a clear sky showers its blessings upon you. And that is sublime, that feeling. Pleases all. So the sun pleases all. The sun pleases all, like that. It transcends all barriers. Exactly like that. The sublime transcends all barriers of caste, creed, race, geographical and ethnic and whatnot. So that is sublime. You understand that? It is a certain excellence in expression, great emotion. It lifts you and it transports you. you forget your reasoning power. Your reasoning power abandons you. That's the thing. Your reasoning, you become one with the work, one with this artistic product. You want to go back to it again and again. You want to appreciate it again and again. And it pleases all, it pleases everywhere, and it pleases in all. It pleases all places, all people, all at all times. Time, place and action, so to say. You will find this permeated, this. The sublime is permeated. So that in language, use of expression, ideas, emotions, that's why he praises Homer. But even then he says, Homer of Iliad and Homer of Odyssey. He makes a comparison. He says Homer of Iliad, that is noonday work. But Homer of Odyssey, the evening work, evening time work. And he finds a lot of shadows in it. So there are faults in Homer. But then immediately he says, these faults are like spots in the sun. So that is, so to Demosthenes. Yes, very high appreciation for these two authors. Remember, more than 1,000 authors he read. More than 1,000 authors. And he has quoted this part of it is lost, is fragmentary, but it has 44 chapters. In these 44 chapters, he has quoted from 50 authors, famous authors. So that means you can understand that it's not just empty bombast, saying this is sublime, that is sublime. Now it is first-hand experience after reading, after meditating. So that is why this work is considered to be so great. It was lost, and when you find, when you leave the classic rules laid down by Plato, Aristotle and Horace, when you come to this, you find that there is what is called a freedom. There is total freedom for us. So this is also a very important point. He stresses the importance of absolute freedom. Writer should in no way be hindered, or there should be no obstacles. He says, never did a slave become a great orator. So freedom is a must. For producing works of sublimity, sublime word, freedom is a must. There's no doubt. So I think I have given you today some idea about the historical background of this. The title Perihipsos. And also the translator Robertello in 1554. The document was discovered, the treatise was discovered in 16th century, that is during Renaissance. First century, where was it? It was sleeping somewhere, in some corner, in some bookseller shop, or in some cupboard. We don't know where was it. Part of it is lost. Written in the form of a letter, epistolary form, like Horace. And after reading this, another treatise on Sublime, he felt it is substandard, and so he thought of doing something, and his friend prompted him. Terendianus, Posthumus Terendianus. The treatise has 44 chapters and deals with what Sublime is, and 2 or 3 main points about what Sublime is. Writing for the posterity, pleasing all, pleasing everywhere, pleasing all time, lifting you, elevation, transporting, forgetting your reason, no reason here. Empathy for the work that you are, empathy for the situation that you are in, empathy, feel like him. You think that, this is what I want also, right? That feeling, that aha feeling. This is what I also wanted to say. that kind of feeling. Then that is a work of sublimity, or there you enjoy sublime. Now, in spite of all this, that is intangible and all those things we said, but there are certain aspects. If you observe those aspects, or if you have that, then your work will be sublime. And what are those different aspects that we will see in the next class. Already I have directly or indirectly mentioned that. Like for the aspects of a genius, only a genius can have this. Like grandeur of thought, majesty, that is great thoughts. And then second is, these are innate qualities. Second is the capacity to feel great emotion. So great thought and great emotion. And these are innate diseases. These are inborn. These are your talents. Your genetics, you can say. Now, this is, genetics have loaded the gun. If genetics had loaded the gun with the great thoughts and the great emotions, then you can pull the trigger by using language, figures of thought, figures of speech, so that, or noble diction, you can do that, and synthesizing the whole thing, combining everything in a perfect way, you can do this. Then the product will be, he hopes, we also hope that will be a sublime work. Now, one of the qualities of sublime, my use of language is the narrator becomes the protagonist becomes the narrator. You can see now, in T.S. Eliot, who is the protagonist and who is the narrator in the wasteland. So that is a work of Sublime. And 1922, it was published. 2022, it will be 100 years. Imagine, still people are thinking about that. So T.S. Eliot, what do you call, a year. Sometimes we don't know, the UN will declare 2022 as the year of T.S. Eliot. We don't know, it may happen. See, why? There are many on the way, you will find many writers. Or some of them may be assessed as greater than him. But why only T.S. Eliot remains here now? There are many others also, but always comes, whenever you think about modern poetry and modernism and so on, what comes to our mind first is T.S. Eliot. Why? Because that is the work of Sublime. And he wrote for the posterity. He wrote for the posterity. It pleases all, pleases everywhere, and pleases every human being, so you can say, irrespective of caste, creed, or anything. So that is, we will see the further points I told you. What makes the Sublime? What produces the Sublime? We have already seen 3 plus 2. 2 of them are innate, 3 of them are art. Art and nature and nurture. Horace says, no? Horace says that the art and nature and art should have a friendly cooperation. Nature and art should have friendly cooperation. Same idea here, but put in a different way. And explained very well. The dynamics of this thing, he has gone into this. Like means, say, taking part by part and explaining things to us. I hope you have followed me, and from tomorrow onwards, in the next class onwards, we will be taking up these factors that help us to become sublime. You can only do it in the nature, you cannot do anything. I don't think you can do anything. But the nurture part, the training part, the art part, you can say, we may be able to do something. Let's hope that we will be able to do something, and with this optimistic note, for the time being, I'll say goodbye and see you again.